Welcome to Drunken Yogi News. Shit to pay attention to.
The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war. I'll be very blunt.
Welcome back. Now for some technology news. This guy seems completely alright with the fact that they can genetically modify the genome of mosquitoes to have them turn off a kill switch in the genes of these mosquitoes. And he seems to have no question about how this could turn awry down the road. Because if you can do that to a mosquito, you can do it to a person. Let's check out what he has to say.
Well, as far as I understand, I mean, we're already using something like this, a kill switch now for genetically modified mosquitoes. At least it's being tested on mosquitoes to fight dengue fever. Do you know anything about that and how that's working?
I only know a little bit about that, and that's certainly one of these examples where we could do a lot of good by being able to engineer an insect, for example, that goes out in the wild and has some disruptive capability over a disease. But we want to be able to control that, and that's really difficult as soon as you go into a real setting. And so you have to have some mechanism, whether it be a mosquito or a bacterium or anything else, where once it's out there, it can, after it has done its job, has done its good, it then shuts down.
And is that perceived in the scientific community, that particular model, as perhaps an effective model to apply to other organisms, or is that what they're working on right now, is finding something, a kill switch that can actually apply to multiple different organisms?
Yeah, so a lot of these kill switches that have been produced could be applied to a number of different organisms. There are always some technical challenges in moving it from one species to another, but the basic chemistry, the way that it works, is about the same.
Yeah, I could never see anybody wanting to control people using that for, I don't know, have them work till they're 30 or 40 and then just drop dead so we didn't have to pay for their Medicaid, Medicare, all the end-of-life expenses to save money for the system. Scary stuff indeed. A little bit cooler. Self-healing technology one step closer after scientists produce aircraft wing which fixes themselves. Even the researchers involved in the project described it as verging on science fiction. A team of British scientists has produced an aircraft wing that can fix themselves after being damaged, suggesting that self-healing technology will soon become commonplace. Their research, due to be presented at the Royal Society meeting in London this week, is being billed as one of the important steps of an emerging field that could soon produce self-healing nail polish, because that's what we need, and cure the crack mobile phone screens. A team at University of Bristol has been quietly developing the technology for the past 3 years. Speaking exclusively to The Independent on Sunday, its leader, Professor Duncan Wass, said he expects a self-healing product to reach consumers in the very near future. Insane. I'm glad we will use it to keep our nails from cracking. Science alert. Light-based computers will be more awesome than we thought. Engineers have found the best way to beam data around a computer at light speed to date. Researchers have come up with an efficient way of transporting data between computer chips using lights rather than electricity. Not only does this mean the computer will be able to transmit data much, much faster, it also means we could build machines that consume less energy. This process isn't just slow, it's an energy intensive and produces the responsibility of the computer getting so hot. That's why you can hear my fan blowing right now. Up to 80% of the microprocessor's power is consumed by sending data over wires, which then it loses in heat loss because we don't know how to control that. Once we get these computers shooting light back and forth, it'll be near instantaneous speeds with no heat. Now, let's check out the BioLim. this mouse, well, it's not a mouse, but this limb of a mouse was grown in a petri dish. Then they flooded it with stuff for muscle mass and charged it with electricity, and it is a fully functional biological replacement. It might look like an aptitude wrap forearm, but the photo above is just something much more exciting. The limb has been grown in the lab from living cells. It may go down in history as the first step to creating real biological functioning limbs for amputees. We're focusing on the forearm and the hand to use as a model system and proof of principle, said Harold Ott, Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston. We grew the limb, but the techniques would apply equal to the legs, arms, and other extremities. This is science fiction coming to life. The University of Vermont College Medicine Burlington, who works on lung regeneration. It's a very exciting development, but the challenge will be to create a functioning limb. Doesn't look like we're too far off. NASA successfully tests engines that use no fuel, violates the laws of physics. Very quietly, NASA tested a space drive that does not use propellants and according to the laws of physics should not work, according to the Thursday story on Wired UK. The problem is that the drive, called the Cana drive, by its inventor Guido Fetta, that's wrong, I just really like cheese, did work in the NASA director test. If the efficacy of the drive is concerned, the implications for space travel are profound. It seems another technology from Star Trek may be about to become reality. However, it appears that the Chinese quietly tested their own version of an EMD drive with up to about 72 grams of thrust. Not enough to be a satellite thruster. Enough to be a satellite thruster. The test was not widely reported in the West, possibly because few, if any, people believed it was possible. That seems to have been changed thanks to the Cana drive. We are going into Buck Rogers, baby. NASA successfully tests engine that uses no fuel, violates the laws of physics. Reading on, we find out that it could take a trip across the solar system down from months to weeks. Absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry about the fan. I'll get a light drive computer as soon as I can. You won't hear that anymore.